What's going on, everybody? I'm Riku and welcome back to another video on Inazuma 11 Victory Road. Today we got the Tokyo Game Show special level 5 stream, in which we got brand new information on Professor Layton, Fantasy Life, as well as Inazuma 11. Now, there's actually a lot of content to go through. I'll cover everything that you may have missed with today's information, so sit back, relax, get yourself a snack, and if you like what you see, consider subscribing. It's free and it helps out a lot, I'd really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's jump right into the video. The trailer opens up with a brand new cutscene featuring Harper Evans, followed by Destin promising to take South Cirrus to be the #1 team in Japan. We can also see in-game screenshots of various different locations in the game. The level of detail in these areas is honestly outstanding. You can also see a glimpse of the fight against the robot Kraken from the end of Chapter 1's story, which is immediately followed up by Destin and Harper having one of their strategy meeting plans ahead of South Cirrus's match against Northbright. In the board, we can see two characters being highlighted, being Nikas Himmelstein as well as Ivan Mercer, which shows us that these two are definitely the heart of Northbright's strategy. The text says, Northbright's key player Nikas Himmelstein will build up the attack with a single breakthrough. His signature attack is the three-pronged attack tactic, which is the same strategy we were able to see in the final match of Raymond vs Northbright in the beta test demo. Up next, we can actually see the robot Krakens, which are an invention of a character named Juno Hundertmark, assisting with the training of South Cirrus players. In the background, we can also see Lilac Twassend, as well as Edwin Grove, which looks like they'll be tagging around with the team as they make their way through the matches. We can see another training minigame between Briar and one of the selectable characters, Meridia Althoff. Right here, we can see a wide shot of the inauguration of the Football Frontier tournament, as well as our first look at the new logo for the tournament. They do a hard cut to the character cutscenes from players of South Cirrus, which, if memory serves me right, all or at least most of these have not been shown before, followed up by a graphic that reads, "Challenge yourself to be the strongest." Right here we can see the image that Hino posted yesterday of all the characters having front and center appearance, with all of them looking absolutely goated. They're all radiating a huge amount of aura, especially Harper Evans. I'm so excited to see these cutscenes in game. We finally get to see our first glimpse at a match, and I just want to stop and say, look at the level of detail, it's absolutely outstanding. Just looking at this and comparing it to the beta test footage, you can actually see a huge improvement. It does look like Level 5 has been listening to our feedback at the Inazuma post and have evolved the game to be much greater than before. As for the UI, we can see brand new buttons on the screen, being L and R, which will activate during focus battles for you to automatically move either left or right. It does look like it could be more immediate than before, making the midfield gameplay have a much wider range. We can also see a special tactic being used by the South Cirrus players, which seems to be a chain locking up special moves being used by the opposing team. In another frame, we can actually see that the player being trapped by these chains is actually Nikas. We also get a tease at a brand new move from Raika Shinohara, which looks to be called Round and Round Shoot. Don't take my word for it, I just used Google Translate, so it could definitely change. The same can be said about the move which is in the grey box. This is a regular curved shot, and it gives us our first look at a new mechanic known as Real Skills, which I do not think use tension, and basically gives more options for players instead of just the regular shots, stops, and dribbles. We were actually able to see these for the first time in the final specs trailer. Moving on, we get to see how South Cirrus and Northbright are both at level 20, implying that this could be an early to mid match in the story. We can also see Nikas being chained with this new special tactic. We can also see a new defensive move called Focus Battle Zone, which allows for more defensive plays as it'll force a play between the attacker and the defender, instead of how it used to be, where the focus battle would only be triggered when these two collided. We can also see Nikes's affinity, which is now officially confirmed to be fire. Funnily enough, last time we saw this, we actually had a white box, not to give this away. We hard cut to Briar facing the Keeper of Northbright, in which we can now see that the enemy walls will now be shown as red, and we can also see a small indicator of where the sweet spot of the Keeper is. And once the player's cursor is on it, the UI will change, indicate that you will be able to shoot at the Keeper's weak spot. In the English translation, this seems to be called Sneak Attack Bonus, but we don't know if this guarantees a goal or just more damage to the Keeper's power. We hard cut to new special moves, starting with Cheat Blaster from the Ace Striker of Eastwind Peregrine, followed up by Penguin the Parade from a brand new character of Royal Academy. We can also see a move by Ivan Mercer called The Matrix, which is followed up by the signature move of Ryman King's goalkeeper, God Hand Tiger. I just want to take a second to really appreciate these moves. They all look fantastic and highly detailed. We make another hard cut to a cinematic cutscene by Mappa in which we can see South Cirrus versus the Raymond Kings, which culminates with everybody being terrified by Harper's signature shot being an overhead volley. That's not all though, as we can see two characters watching the match, which we can only guess are Axel Blaze and Mark Evans. This is honestly one of the most hype parts of the trailer for me. I can't wait to see them in game. Just the thought of seeing them again, honestly, makes me so happy. We jump into the second part of the trailer, in which we can see the main character of Chronicle mode, Victorio Cryptix, as the Inazuma Time Machine Caravan goes back in time. We're able to see multiple different instances throughout the series' history. We're able to see just for a split second a moment from Inazuma 11 Go Chronos Stones, such as the final match against Simon Ape. We're also briefly able to see Sol Daystar's Mixi-Max transformation with Zhuglian, as well as multiple shots of fighting spirits. We can also see the final match of Inazuma 11 Go, which is versus Dragon Link, a screenshot of Raymond vs Team Zero from the Griffin movie, images from the Team Ogre Attacks movie, multiple Inazuma 11 3 moments such as the Little Gigantes and England matches. We can also see multiple images from Inazuma 11 2, but we can also see moments that do not take part in matches such as Axel's departure, which means that we will definitely see some character development outside of just matches. And lastly, we go back to where it all started, back to Inazuma 11 1, where we're able to see a match against Zeus. In the Zeus match, we can see the legendary moments where Byron uses God Knows against Mark. And as many of you might have guessed by now, Mark does indeed use Majin the Hand in a faithful one-to-one recreation of the anime, and a new updated model for the Majin. It honestly just looks so good, and I'm so happy to see it return. When I was watching this part in the trailer, I honestly couldn't do anything but smile. This is honestly the biggest highlight in the whole trailer for me. We now get to see the summoning animation for getting different characters. The animation honestly looks so good, much better than any summoning animation by far. We're also able to see a brand new look at one of the hero rank rarities with Kevin Dragonfly. We're currently unaware if it will work like the beta, where if you get that rarity card, you can immediately make that character the rarity you got or not. We're also able to see an updated model for Arion, which looks significantly better than his old model. Love to see that Level 5 are updating the models of beloved characters with each trailer. And as always, we can't have Arion shown without him summoning his fighting spirit, the Arch-Winged Pegasus, which is honestly looking highly detailed. This is one of my favorite models for the fighting spirits that they've shown. We're finally able to see more about the Kizuna station. There's so many different options to make your own character with different accessories from multiple different characters throughout the series. This is honestly shaping up to be one of the most complete custom character options I've ever seen in a video game. Definitely more excited to create my own character once the game drops. We can also see that we can choose their position. I'm also assuming their own affinity, as well as what characters we want them to have a bond with, which will make it feel like we're truly fully immersed within the world of Inazuma 11. I cannot wait to try this out in November. We also get a new look at the Kizuna town, and in fact they did show the huge Mark Evans head on the map, which we got as a compensation for the July delay. Funny seeing it here as a, yeah, we made you wait, but look at how amazing the game looks now. We can also see more of the co-op features, which will allow you to have your friends walk around with you in your own custom-made town, which will be amazing once the photo mode drops for the game. We're also able to see a new look at a returning special tactic, being the Double Typhoon, which is bringing back the Inazuma 11 SD Wheel of Death back into Victory Road. It seems like this wheel will only show up for the more powerful special tactics, as the players that are using this don't engage in focus battles, so there's definitely a high risk, high reward factor into using these special tactics. It's important to note that we have seen the wheel not be used in other tactics, specifically the ones from the beta, which is why I said this may be for more powerful tactics. This is followed up by the custom character and Axel Blaze using Inazuma 1, with a text that reads, "The culmination of Inazuma 11 is now complete." And the release date reconfirming the 14th of November as the launch date. We are so back! Lastly, there have been a few sneaky updates to the final specs spreadsheet of the game, which include the following: counter shots, which haven't been seen until now, sweet spot, which I covered earlier, custom passive, which I believe to either be the skill tree or just a reference to the custom character, and a huge thanks to Dots on Twitter for pointing out the following. Sixth Sense, which appeared back in April, was never explained or shown and has now been removed, which we're assuming is not happening anymore, and a market feature has been added to the Others section, along with achievements. And that's all for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you got this far into the video, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like, subscribe, and comment what's your favorite thing that was shown in this trailer. Hope all of you have a lovely rest of your days, and I'll see you all in the next video. Adios.